Welcome to the EOB podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Benno, and joining me is Sen Duong. So Sen, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. And so is Moana again.
Moana, right. Remember we said in the last podcast that according to your projections, Office Christmas Party could be the number one movie this week. Last weekend.
Right. And it's not.
And it's not. Because
of the strong legs of Moana.
Oh, right. So I said Moana would come in number one. You said Christmas Office Party. And hey, I was right again.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are.
Right. Okay, so let's jump right in before we get to one of the biggest releases of the year coming out this weekend. The number one movie of the weekend, as expected, at least by me, is Moana. It pulled in 18.8 million over the weekend. The drop-off is only 33% from the previous weekend, and the domestic gross right now is 145 million, and the worldwide take is 238 million. And as we see with last weekend, the drop-offs sort of returning back to normal. Remember we had this huge drop-off during the last weekend?
Yeah, the post Thanksgiving weekend, yeah. So it's returning back to its leggy self. Yeah, the drop-off is only 33%. After 3 weeks, it's at 145 million. And there's Thanksgiving coming up, so this movie...
Wait, Christmas coming up. We were past Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right. There's Christmas coming up, so this movie might pull on and might eventually get to 200 million. We'll see.
You don't think that other movie that's coming up will take a big chunk of the pie?
Yeah,
right?
That's true. It probably will. But I think Moana is maybe the demographics are a little bit younger. You might see mothers taking their daughters to see Moana, and maybe fathers taking their kids to Star Wars. But Star Wars does star a woman as the lead. In general, I think Moana's demographics is younger, so maybe not too much.
Right. And surprisingly, not everyone is interested in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, how about we go to number 2? What was my figure? I was thinking 25 to 30 million for Office Christmas Party.
Yeah, I think you say 20 to 30 or something like that, but you settled for somewhere in between 25.
Okay, and you were 15, right?
I said 10 to 15, and this is on the higher end of my estimate.
Yeah, that's just a tad though, so you were right on the mark. What do you think of this figure? I guess it's okay. It's not as high as the other figures that Jennifer Aniston is used to, especially with Horrible Bosses.
Right. The movie pulled in 17.5 million over the weekend. It is a bit better than what I expected the movie to do. So according to my estimate, it did pretty well. But like you say, it didn't do as well as Jennifer Aniston's other comedies.
Right. At a budget of just 45 million, this movie will probably make a decent profit, especially since, it's a comedy. It's different from Star Wars, and there's Christmas coming up. So if it can get through the next couple of weeks, it might, hold on. But we'll see.
Right. The budget is there. 45 million is not an expensive movie. It doesn't need to make that much, right? And it has, the people. Jennifer Aniston has Jason Bateman, a couple other comedians like Kate McKinnon, Rob Corddry, and others. And with a movie that's as generic as Christmas Office Party, it's not going to be a classic by any stretch of the imagination, right? It's not going to be played on TV every year. This movie is made to take advantage of the holiday season, go in, do its job, and then get out with the profits.
Yeah, right. Whatever they say, go in, get your money, leave.
Right. And I think with the 17.5 million opening, it's doing its job.
Yeah, it is doing its job, although I don't think it raises the Jennifer Aniston brand, though. She has Horrible Bosses, which did really well. She had We're the Millers, which did even better. But then Horrible Bosses 2 disappointed, and it only opened at 15 million. And this one is kind of along that kind of figure. So it might reach 50, 55, or if it gets lucky, 60 million.
Oh, that's true. But, like her movies, after Horrible Bosses 2, even though, sequels usually do worse than the first movie, we're going to expect a drop, right? But her other movies like Cake, right? Nearly 2 million. She's funny that way. Only 111K. Mother's Day, 32 million. Storks, which is not really her, really, it's an animation, Warner Brothers, 71 million. And you can see sort of a trend there. Maybe it's her choices of movies, or maybe it's that she's starting to lose her luster. I don't know.
Well, you can put Kate and She's Funny That Way on her because those films are very limited releases. So I'm not sure if you can put those against her, but Office Christmas Party, she's definitely the headliner and it's doing its job, but it's not as well as her other films. She'll have movies like Just Go With It. She'll have a hit once in a while and then she'll get a dip and then she'll find another movie 4 or 5 years later and become a hit. But as of right now, it's like you never know which way it's going to go.
Right. But to be fair to her, she is paired with Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
So this movie's not all on her.
Yeah, right. But I guess that's kind of a solid opening, although not great. Right.
Right. Like I say, it did its job. It's not going to be a classic, disposable entertainment for the holidays.
Yeah, and we'll probably see Will the Millers 2 pretty soon too.
Really? They're making one?
I would think so. It's her biggest hit. It made like 150 million. I mean, Horrible Bosses didn't even do that much, and it got a sequel. I would think Will the Millers will probably see a sequel.
That's true, but then again, they made Horrible Bosses too.
And that hugely disappointed. So, but when there's potential to make money, Hollywood's not going to turn it down.
Oh, that's true. But I'm just saying. Yeah. Sometimes comedies they don't lead to sequels.
So. It depends.
Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway.
So we'll see how that goes.
All right, let's move on to number 3. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It grossed about 10.8 million over the weekend, holding steady at 40% drop off. It has grossed 199 million after 4 weeks of release. At a budget of 180 million, so it passed its budget domestically. And worldwide, it's already at 680 million. So chugging along.
It's chugging along, and we might see the sequel to perform even better, I feel.
Yeah, maybe. I don't feel that huge excitement for it. As the Harry Potter.
Yeah, but we don't know because at the end of the movie, right, the main character is going to Hogwarts or going to that in that direction. So we might see some tie-ins there. So it might get the excitement up a bit. But we'll have to see how they will do it.
How they integrate the original characters from Harry Potter into these spin-offs.
That's right. We're hitting upon the Harry Potter cinematic universe right here.
Right. That's true.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to wait for the follow-up and see how they integrate or expand the universe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about we move on to number 4, which is Arrival. They pulled in 5.6 million over the weekend. Domestic gross is 81 million right now, and the worldwide take is 129 million.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the rest of the films in the top 10 that been expanded, it's holding up the best. The drop-off is only 23%, and it seems to be dropping off, in that level for since its wide release. So it's holding up really well.
Yeah, it's one of those movies which has strong word of mouth.
Yeah, at a relatively modest budget of 47 million, it's going to be profitable, and they might even get a nomination or 2 or more.
Right. Okay, so number 5 is Doctor Strange. It put in 4.6 million, drop off of only about 31%. Domestic gross is 222 million. The worldwide figure is 645. Nothing else too much to say about it. It's continued to be a hit for Marvel.
Right, and number 6 is Allies, gross 4 million, dropping off at 43%. After 3 weeks of release, it has already grossed about 36 million at a budget of 85 million, so it's not looking good domestically. The worldwide figure is at almost 70 million, but at a budget of 85 million, it's still not looking that good. At this current pace, it's losing money.
Right. The movie opened at 12.7 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
We thought that it targeted a demographic that might come out and watch the movie later. They don't rush out to watch it on opening weekend, but it doesn't seem to be holding on that well.
Yeah, right. And the worldwide figure doesn't look that much better.
Right. Okay, so number 7 is a movie called Nocturnal Animals. It expanded, pulled in 3.2 million over the weekend, and I'm not sure what that movie's about.
Me neither. Well, it stars Amy Adams, who also starred in the Arrival. It also stars Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's one of those films that getting the awards buzz.
Really?
I think so.
I haven't heard it pop up during any awards talk, but I don't usually keep up abreast of what's happening there. Right, the movie's directed by Tom Ford, and as you say, stars Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal, and Michael Shannon, Isla Fisher, Laura Linney, a lot of good people here.
The reviews are decent, 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. So okay, on Rotten Tomatoes, it says as it well acted and good looking, but
well, from the description, it looks like a very generic thriller. Mm-hmm. Amy Adams plays this woman who is stalked by her ex-husband.
All right, now we know what it's about. I'm not sure. I mean, at 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's solid reviews, but not great. Maybe my awards talk won't come to fruition.
Right. And like I say, it seems like it's a generic thriller about stalking.
Right.
Stalkers.
Right. But it is well acted, so it might get a few nomination awards, maybe.
I doubt it. Like these movies, these thrillers, while they star these people, but like as you say, Amy Adams is one of those perennial people who gets nominated. So who knows? Yeah,
and Jake Gyllenhaal from time to time will get a nomination. So stars a bunch of very good actors. It might. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. But I don't expect anything from this. It might be from some other, like a Critics Award, but I don't think any of the major awards will nominate it.
But speaking of nominations, another film that expanded to a couple hundred theaters, Manchester by the Sea. This one is definitely getting a lot of awards buzz. I think on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It stars Casey Affleck, Gretchen Mol, Michelle Williams. It's a film about a person whose brother has passed away, and now is the legal guardian, the sole guardian of his brother's teenage son. And it's getting great reviews and Oscar talk.
Right. And like you said, this is a movie that is attached to, Oscar talks. And Casey Affleck, he's under the radar, but people regard him as a very good actor.
He's in a lot of well-reviewed, critically acclaimed films.
Yeah, he's not as commercial as his brother Ben Affleck, but I think generally he is considered as the better actor.
Right.
And Manchester by the Sea is produced by, I think, Amazon, right?
Yeah. So they're like Netflix, jump into the, original content business. So they're making their own films and releasing them either in theaters or via streaming. Although Netflix has kept most of their films in streaming rather than...
Right, because the studios, I mean, not the studios, but the movie theaters, they don't want their movies in theaters unless it's their first.
Yeah. They don't want the whole, release in theaters and streamed at the same time. Because, the theaters want to protect their territory. If people can stream it, they feel like they're afraid that it will become a practice in the future, and it threatens their industry.
Right. So they're taking a zero tolerance stance.
Yeah. And I can see why, because even the theatrical window has been, shorter and shorter, and mm-hmm. No, it used to be a movie can play in theaters for 6 months or longer. Now it's like a couple months and then it's on to home video. Theaters, are definitely feeling the pinch. Yeah, and like you said, I think they have always taken a zero tolerance.
Yep. They say if they allow one movie, the crack will open and it becomes a flood. So that's why they're doing this zero tolerance. If you do it streaming, there's no way this movie will play in their theaters.
Yeah, and I think that some studios will probably also support that because theatrical is a huge business. $10 to $11 billion business. They probably don't want to eat into that too. They want their theatrical business, their home video business, their streaming business, their rental business, and then their licensing business and. They were just trying to balance how much time should they allow for each to get the most money they can get. I think in general the studios or with the theaters on the theater side, except for maybe some indie studios who are fighting to get theaters and sometimes they couldn't get screen time, so they might bypass that and go to streaming. But I think the big studio movies will always get theatrical releases and that will always be favored.
Right. But a movie like Manchester by the Sea, for example, I mean, it might benefit more from streaming. Maybe it needs more people to know about it instead of less.
Yeah.
But there's this, I think, rule in the Oscars that you need to play in certain theaters.
Oh yeah, right.
To qualify for the award.
Right.
So there's that. All right, let's move on to number 9. Trolls pulled in 3.1 million. Domestic gross so far is 145, and the worldwide is 316 million. Surprisingly, the breakdown between foreign and domestic is not that huge.
Yeah.
Domestic is 45% or 46%, and foreign is 54%. Normally, you see, the foreign by a huge margin, maybe by 20-30 percentage points.
Yeah, for DreamWorks films. But regardless, the budget is only 125 million, and it's already doing like almost 3 times. I think DreamWorks is pretty happy with it.
Yeah, like we say, look forward to Trolls 2.
Yeah, at number 10, finishing off our list, is Hacksaw Ridge. It did 2.3 million over the weekend, drop off of only about 30%, and it has grossed 61 million after 6 weeks. Let me see, the worldwide figure is at 84 million, about. So kind of like one of those modest hits for Lionsgate. And, Mel Gibson will finally get more glamorous projects other than, his previous direct-to-video or direct-to-streaming movies.
Or going over to China to work.
Yeah, yep. Doing, of all things, production design.
Right. Okay, so a movie of note is number 11, Miss Sloane. It pulled in about 1.9 million over the weekend. It expanded last weekend, and we said this movie might do about 3 million last weekend, but it only did about 2.
Yeah.
And we said that this movie had difficulty communicating what it is about.
Mm-hmm. It stars Jessica Chastain, and it's one of those movies about lobbyists and politics. It's kind of a confusing trailer, and the marketing probably isn't that great.
Yeah, I don't think it's a confusing movie. I mean, the reviews are pretty good, mm-hmm. right? But I think the people who made the trailer made it confusing.
Yeah. That's true. We have to make that distinction. The trailer is confusing. The marketing is off. The reviews are solid, 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it seems like they don't quite know how to market it. But I guess it's kind of hard to market a movie about lobbyists, right? How interesting can that be?
This movie is not going to appeal to, it's not a mass market movie, right?
Yeah.
But you at least try not to make it confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are interested in this thing, right? If you make it like, okay, they're going against the gun lobby, make them the big bad guy, then it's clear.
Yeah.
But they cut the trailer to make it about, Miss Sloane, about that she will do anything to win, for example, even using dubious means. Mm-hmm. Right? They made it about that and not really about the movie. What the movie's about. You have this big baddie, the gun lobby, using their clout to peddle weapons to people. Right? You can make that thing, and people might be interested in that. And okay, there's this woman who might use dubious means, but she's fighting for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
That's even clearer, right?
Yeah.
But what we got is that confusing mess.
Yeah.
All right, another movie of note coming in at number 15 is La La Land. It pulled in 855K.
On just 5 screens.
Yeah, predictor average is 171K. And like we said, this might be the leading contender for the Oscar award.
Right. Yeah, it has one of the highest per screen averages of all time. But, as we said in a previous podcast, because it's released in so few screens, sometimes you never know how these things will go. But so far, it looks like, the buzz is genuine, and we'll have to see. And they're releasing this film. It has a platform release. They're not going to dump this on 100 theaters next week. They will go like 200 more and then expand slowly as the buzz builds. So we'll see if this will hold on. It looks like it will hold on because, the reviews are great and the word of mouth has been great. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
This movie has a lot of things going for it. It is a a musical, and that's something you don't see in theaters a lot of times, right? You have singing, dancing, and it's a kind of an uplifting movie. And it is about, trying to break into the entertainment industry. Something that the people who are voting on this movie knows about. Right, so it has all that thing going for them, So I think it might actually win. I feel because this movie speaks to those people who are voting.
Yeah, right, exactly. Kind of like The Artist and The Player and other films that are about the film industry. We'll see how it does in the coming weeks when it expands. The Golden Globes nomination went up over the weekend. Oh, today. It went up today.
Okay.
And of course, La La Land got a bunch of nominations. Even Miss Sloane got a nomination.
Whoa.
Jessica Chastain, she's kind of like Amy Adams. Whenever she does a movie, she gets nominated. But yeah, you see a lot of so you see La La Land getting a lot of nominations. Nocturnal Animals got some. Hacksaw Ridge. Manchester got.
You were right.
Well, but this is the Golden Globes, and sure they're getting closer and closer to the Academy Awards. But they're still, the way they break up their musical and comedy and drama. There's always room for more films, and they're not deserving of it, I guess.
Right. The joke is that they'll give award to anyone who wants to come to their award show.
It used to be. It's getting a lot better though.
Right.
Now it's more like they want to create rooms for more because they feel like they are more deserving talent or projects. Like now, instead of capping best motion picture at 5, they can stick more in the musical or comedy category. Even though some of those films might not be musicals or comedies.
Right. Something that Jim Carrey complained about.
No, he wasn't complaining about. Well, I'm not sure. He was. Yeah, the Truman Show. He was like, "Hey, I didn't think the Truman Show is a comedy." Or
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So nobody wants their movie to win
in the comedy section.
Comedy.
Yeah,
right.
The Golden Globes. If there are 2 very deserving movies for Best Picture, they'll put one of them in the best, in the musical or comedy section, just so it has a chance to win. Just so they can have 2 winners instead of 1.
Right, but people who want that one feels like it's the lesser award.
Yeah, right. Kind of like Gravity. Gravity was in the comedy section instead of drama, right?
I'm not sure which, but I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to this week's big movies. Oh, there's really one big movie.
One, like you said, it is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And then we have Collateral Beauty. It's a Will Smith movie.
It's kind of hard to imagine that Will Smith is in a movie that's for counter-programming, isn't it?
Sure, but don't underestimate his drawing power, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really counter-programming. He's taking on Star Wars.
Yeah, that's the thing. Usually right? He is Star Wars, not the other movie.
Well, true, but he no longer has the 4th of July right now, right?
Well, he can claim Christmas.
Right, he's taking on Christmas. He conquered Independence Day, now he's taking on Christmas.
All right.
All right, Rogue One, Star Wars story. So it's a prequel to, I guess, episode 4, A New Hope. It talks about the people who steals the plan to the Death Star.
Right.
It stars Felicity Jones, Mads Mikkelsen, Forrest Whitaker, Diego Luna. Hey, shout out to Donnie Yen as the token Chinese guy.
Sure.
And directed by Gareth Edwards, the guy who did Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. There's been reshoots and all that. No reviews, right?
Well, I don't think people are going to care about reviews that much.
Well, I'm not sure because hype is so huge, and the previous Star Wars, the J.J. Abrams one, was so well reviewed that if this one disappoints, I think it can affect the opening a little bit, and especially in the coming weeks. If there's any word out there saying that, hey, this movie is not up to par, then it could affect it, I think.
And I feel that I think people are more hyped about this movie than the mainline story.
Oh, you think so? I don't think so, but hey.
Well, because the mainline story is, you kind of know what you're getting. And this one, the spin-offs, especially with Rogue One, it's a chance for them to kind of do something new with it.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting to the studio than to the audience. Because to the studio is, like you said, is their way to test whether or not they can expand the Star Wars universe, not following the main storyline set up by George Lucas. I think to the studio is more interesting, but to the audience, I think the main storyline is still a bigger draw than these spin-offs. But of course, me being a Donnie Yen fan, I'm probably looking more forward to this than the main Star Wars movies. But that's just me though. I'm not a diehard, Star Wars fan. I'm just a film fan that's interested.
Yeah. Let me clarify what I'm saying is when I'm saying more hyped, I mean outside of the hardcore Star Wars fans. People who saw the movies and wanted something different, I think.
I don't know.
They might get that with Rogue One.
Sure.
I'm not saying that it would make more than the mainline movies.
But you think there's more interest in this movie outside of your hardcore Star Wars fans?
Right. It's just like I think it might attract people who are not like hardcore Star Wars fans.
Okay. All right. So what's your number?
Hey, Star Wars movie, Christmas. Let's go 110.
I'm looking at HSX opening weekend number and price, and they have it at 168.
Wow.
And I read the tracking numbers that the studios use. I don't know how they calculate it, but I think the last one I read had it at 140 to 145 million. So I think you might be 110 million. It might be in the low.
I'm sure.
Super low.
Sure.
So man, it does have a lot of hype.
This is a Star Wars movie, right? I mean, I think with the new reboot, I think with Episode 7, right? I think it brings more people in.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Star Wars: The Force Awakens opened to 248 million.
Oh, okay. Whoa. You know what? I'm pretty low.
Yeah, you're very low. You're not just you're.
I think I might get a call from Disney or George Lucas. Yeah. I think I might have to revise my figure there.
Even if you just go half, it's still 125.
Okay. So what are you thinking though?
It's hard to say. Yeah. I think originally I was thinking like you, but then you look at the original, the reboot, and that opened to 250 million. And this, even though it's a spin-off, you would think that it would, at least do, even if not at 250 million, would at least do somewhere in the, neighborhood.
Right, that's true. But the thing is, the Force Awakens has Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and all the regulars coming back.
You mean Mark Hamill?
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill. Carrie Fisher, yeah. R2, Chewie,
yeah,
the Millennium Falcon, has all that.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go somewhere in the middle. I'll go 150. I'll go with the tracking number. You know what? We probably way underestimated when the reboot opened. I think everyone underestimated the opening. I think we might be underestimating the opening on this one too.
True, but I'm gonna the price is right. I'm gonna go like a $1 more than you.
Okay.
160 million.
Okay, all right.
Let me revise my figure.
All right. We could still be low though, but we'll see.
We could still be low, but then again, like we said, this one doesn't have the original cast.
Yeah,
returning.
This one is completely mostly new characters playing the leads, and it is a spin-off, not following the original storyline. But this one does have Darth Vader though.
That's true. We don't see any lightsabers, right?
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen lightsabers.
Any, yeah. Okay, so I'm going 150. You're going 160. It might make 200. We don't know.
We don't know. Oh, this is a good test case for the other spin-offs.
Yeah.
Okay, Collateral Beauty stars Will Smith, who is recovering from the death of his daughter. And to help him cope, he writes letter to his emotions, or like to death, to love, to time, or whatever, right? And they responded
by manifesting themselves as human characters that only he sees.
Yes, manifest themselves into Helen Mirren, Keira Knightley, Kate Winslet, and others.
Right.
I don't think Kate Winslet is the character, right? But
Right. Kind of an interesting story, and then there's this idea, about, is he so depressed that he's delusional, or what the deal is. So it's Will Smith in doing a movie that's supposed to lift the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so it's basically him talking to himself, but himself being manifested into Helen Mirren and others.
Yeah.
It's like him trying to come to terms with what happened.
Right.
Trying to, I guess, move on or to reconcile, whatever.
Yeah.
To figure out what to do
Yeah,
next.
to kind of overcome his grief, figure out his life, dealing with death.
Yes. And one thing I noticed is that through all that, he still finds time to work out in the gym.
True.
You expect someone dealing with grief to, let themselves go a bit, right? But he still works out.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes people let themselves go and they become emaciated. And sometimes they let themselves go and they stop eating. This is Will Smith in drama mode, and when he's in drama mode, the roses tend to be pretty low.
Well, it depends. Like The Pursuit of Happiness, for example, like his.
Oh yeah, that's
movie,
true. In Pursuit of
sort of feel good movie.
Yeah, feel good movie that did really well.
Right. It opened around Christmas time as well. December 15th, opened to 26 million, went on to have a worldwide gross of 307, 163 of that in the domestically.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's going to be The Pursuit of Happiness or it's going to be, 7 pounds, for instance. Or even worse, it might be Concussion.
I think this movie has a wider appeal than that.
Yeah, wider appeal than Concussion. Yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder if I think he would be happy if it did 7 pounds numbers, which ended up doing about 70 million domestically for drama, which is pretty good. But I wonder if it's even going to do that. Will Smith is still a huge draw. When he does a mainstream movie, as we can see by Suicide Squad, which no one predicted would do nearly as well as Batman v Superman. So it proves that, hey, if you put Will Smith in a mainstream blockbuster, he can still draw a huge crowd, but his dramas are mixed. I think in the end, it probably depends on the reviews. Like The Pursuit of Happiness was based on a book. It was well reviewed, and did he get a nomination? I'm not sure. He might have.
I'm not sure. It happened so long ago.
Yeah, but then I haven't heard many, awards talk about Collateral Beauty, and it all depends on the reviews, I guess. If it's well reviewed, it might go the route of. I don't think it can do the Pursuit of Happiness numbers. It might do 7 pounds number if it has good reviews. If not, it might be Concussion.
True, but also it's going up against Star Wars, so.
Oh, it's different crowd though.
It's different crowds, but again, there is some influence, I guess.
Great thing about this movie is they surrounded him with great actors and actresses. Edward Norton, Helen Mirren, Keira Knightley, Naomi Harris, Michael Pena. So he's surrounded by top tier Kate Winslet, top tier actors and actresses. The only thing is when you surround yourself with high caliber talent, if it disappoints even a little bit, if the reviews aren't even passable, then it's considered a huge disappointment. Because, critics would expect a lot more from a film with all these talented actors.
Right. Okay, having said that.
Okay.
How do you think it's going to do?
I'll have to go with 12 million.
Okay, I'm going to go high on this too as well.
All right.
20 million.
20 million? Okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see if Will Smith still has that draw.
Okay, I think he does, but again, he's going up against Star Wars, and it's a different movie.
Yeah, it is different. It is not not the Pursuit of Happiness, which is very straightforward. It's about a guy who's homeless, who has a son, who eventually rose and became a very successful stocks trader. And, it's a very straightforward path, but Collateral Beauty, even the title is kind of not a very mainstream title. I think when you hear Collateral Beauty, you're like, what the heck is this? And, the idea that he's talking to all these people in character form, playing time, playing love, playing, what else?
In Helen Mirren's
death. Yeah, so, it's not a movie that you instantly go out and tell your friends, like, hey, let's go see Collateral Beauty. They're gonna, you can imagine the conversation. Oh, what is it? Who's in it? And then what is it about? And you're like, oh, he plays this guy who's dealing with grief of a lost daughter, and he talks to death, time, and love. And they'll be like, it's not the type of film where people would be like, all right, let's go see it. I get it instantly.
Okay. All right. We will find out. We're coming up with Star Wars. I think we were wrong last year.
We might be wrong
Force
again.
Awakens open, and I think yes, we're wrong again. We'll continue to underestimate the Force.
Yeah, right.
And I guess we'll come back and next week and see how these movies will do.
All right. See you guys next week.